Peace Day 2022.
I think it's a great shot right here. I see a lot of. So, we didn't say it was sleep no, we're all going to be here.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah.
I mean, you're not recording the whole thing. You're just recording the best part. So only literally like 30 seconds. You can sit down.
It's definitely is a little bit.
I mean, so all of the students are going to come up.
Now, like, I'm really you're certified, man.
That cheat, that could be a fantasy. I can tell you got big, big energy. It ain't too many of them that can handle me. But I might let you try it off the Hennessy. Make them sing to this thing like a melody. And if your girl ain't right, I got the remedy. It ain't too many of them that can handle me. That cheat, I could be a fantasy. Tell me how you want it. 3, 2, 1, and I'm on it. Feel good, don't it? Good shit. You in the club, we wasted on a pole like honest. I'm just being honest. Juicy, anyway, can't do one when you make. Not a side or a right. I'm the only one in the tank. Spinning his mind and banging. I like what I see. Yeah, boss like you need a boss like me. Headed from the street, so you low key. Tryna rock that mic like karaoke. On the count of 3, back, big mic. Bro, to the left with me. I'm the one they love to hate, but they can't get past. Pretty face, no waist, and a big old bag. Bad cheat, that could be a fantasy. I can tell you got big, big energy. It ain't too many of them that can handle me. But I might let you try it off the Hennessy. Make them sing to this thing like a melody. And if your girl ain't right, I got the remedy. It ain't too many of them that can handle me. Bad cheat, that could be a fantasy. Tell me how you want 3, 2, 1, count them up. Do it slow motion. Shake them up. All they big talk, I don't put them on. I'm just being honest. Lingerie, no check. Blindfold, take me to the bed while we roll cake. Can't skill for play, kill kitty cold case. I'm about shit, but till I be do it your way. On the count of 3, get money. Broke to the left, we don't want that. If you ever see me broke, I'm probably rocking the cast. Pretty face, no waist, with a big old bag.
Comfortable. I put a vote on everybody's, so we can spread the word about definitely voting. Yeah.
Yeah, cheat, that could be a fantasy. I can tell you got big energy. It ain't too many of them that can handle me. But I might let you try it off the Hennessy. Make them sing to this thing like a melody. And if your girl ain't right, I got the remedy. It ain't too many of them that can handle me. Yeah, cheat, that could be a fantasy. Tell me how you want 3, 2, 1, and I'm on it. Feel good, don't know. Good shit. You ain't funny. I'ma bust it on the pole like honest. I'm just being honest. Juicy, mini made. Can't do it 1 minute, man. Not a side or man. I'm the only one in the tank. Spinning his mind in the bank. I like what I see. Yeah, boss like you need a boss like me. Daddy from the street, so he move low key. Tryna rock that mic like karaoke. On the count of 3, big like, bro, to the left, we don't want it. I'm the one they love and hate, but they can't get past. Pretty face, no waist, and a big old bag. Bad cheat, that could be a fantasy. I can tell you got big energy. It ain't too many of them that can handle me. But I might let you try it off the
Hi, good to see you. Good to be seen. Bless that. Hey y'all. Hey. Feels a little weird. We're gonna have to light this place up and get it popping in here because it's a little empty right now. But I know you're out there. Hi. When I said park, you said what? Park. Park. Peace Day 2022 in the house. We are all here and we're honored. We're here with DJ King Leo. We're here with our panel of community experts and leaders, and we are going to fill this room up with the vibrance, life, and importance of our school community coming together, because it is more than just our school community. It is the fight for justice that leads to a community at peace. And if I'm not doing that, let me take 1 second to say my shirt says, I am rallying for the end of systemic racism with student graduation requirements. I'm going to tell a quick story about what it means to build peace in this community. 24 students went over to LaSalle University, and 24 students this summer completed 2 courses of LaSalle University's dual enrollment program, LEAP, that we created in partnership with them last year. 24 out of 24 students. Their overall GPA was somewhere around a 3.4. They crushed it. Many students got 2 A's. Every student passed 2 courses, got 2 credits for free with the school district of Philadelphia in partnership with LaSalle University in Albany, fighting through any transportation issues, any obstacles of getting there, fighting through a narrative that says Black kids in urban communities don't go to school in the summer. And they got it done. They got it done. Unfortunately, the state of Pennsylvania has said many of those students, 24 students who are already successful college students, cannot graduate from the school district of Philadelphia unless they jump through additional hoops. What? If I am not being real, if I'm not breaking through my whiteness and history of doing this, well, we're going to work hard on student achievement to raise that level of achievement and make sure students can succeed. We talk in a real way, folks, and we can't wait to hear from you because it's not about me, it's about you. This day is for you, and let us get started with Peace Day 2022. And we do that by taking a moment. There are two reasons where I like to observe. And the first is, this is a worldwide moment today. It is the World International Day of Peace. The United Nations, their basic slogan for today is end racism. Period. Literally, there is a period. And the second thing I do is I honor within our school community 3 names: Taheem Tucker, Khalil Stafford, Nakia Lyles. Would you please join me and the world in honor of those 2 purposes? Thank you. A special moment to the faculty and staff who raised up Taheem, Khalil, and Nakia. The efforts, your belief, your commitment matters. And please know, for all the students in this school community listening and beyond, you were here, you were important, you were a crucial part of our community and always will be. Right now, it is now time to invite Tutorial 901 down to the stage. Ms. Steinberg, who is helping us out. Are we ready? And it is my honor to kick it up with Mr. DJ King Leah, welcoming some music and getting this room started to live it up with the energy it deserves. 901, fighting for mental health awareness. Can I hear you?
I'm taking my freedom, pulling it off the shelf, putting it on my chain, wearing it around my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car, wherever I choose to go. It won't take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden.
17% of the youth in Sorry. 17% of youth experience a mental health issue. They can include self-harm, depression, anxiety, and even lead to suicide. Enough is enough.
To get help, we can talk about it. Get professional help that may lead to medication and engage in self-help.
Please welcome 902, Fighting for Youth.
physical. It can be mental and verbal abuse. Child abuse causes trauma and impacts a person's daily life. People fail to realize how abuse affects children. Adults need to take accountability for their actions and be mindful of the words. Do not be the cause of your child's trauma.
Youth violence is a global public health problem. It includes a range of acts from bullying and physical fighting to more severe sexual and physical assault to homicide. Homicide is the fourth leading cause of death in people aged 10 to 29 years. It is 84% of these homicides involve male victims.
As a result, kids my age and younger are dying over petty drama that can be resolved easily. How many kids need to die in order for y'all to understand this needs to stop?
I'm a walk on my march on the regular, painting white flags blue. Lord, forgive me, I've been running blind and true.
It is my honor when they are ready to introduce tutorial 903, led by Mr. Collins. Let's give it up.
May the last one burn to flames. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, help me lose. Yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains, I know myself. Whenever I'm free and I'm running hell. Hey, I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
In tutorial 903, we march to end gun violence to honor these who have lost their lives because of it. I stand here for Tamir Rice, who was a 12-year-old African-American boy who was killed by a 26-year-old officer. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. In tutorial 903, we march to end gun violence and to honor those who have lost their lives because of it. I stand here for Tamir Rice, who was a 12-year-old African-American boy who was killed by a 26-year-old police white officer. Tamir had a toy gun before being killed by Timothy almost immediately. Or Tashana Anderson, who was killed by 2 white police officers. Tashana had schizophrenia and had a mental breakdown, called the police for help, but died instead. Or Breonna Taylor, who was killed by many police officers after they came to her house late at night and killed her. She was shot 7 times and died immediately. I stand here for all Black people. Put the guns down. Enough is enough.
Open correctional gates in high desert. Open our mind as we cast away oppression. Open the streets and watch our.
I just wanted to set the tone for today. 9th grade, we appreciate you. I heard a comment just now that I want to be real about. 903, thank you. If we're treating you as young adults and you're stepping up as young adults, our focus is on the message of what you said, not one word of what you said. The point is taken. We hear you, and we thank you. Tomorrow, I'll focus on the F word, but not today. Let's go. It's my honor to turn over to 1001.
We like to acknowledge
the people that have been murdered due to police brutality.
Eric Gardner,
Terrence Kuchar,
Michael Brown, Tamir Rice,
Eric Harris,
Walter Scott, Akai Gurley,
Oscar Grant,
Denisha Fonville, Freddie Gray,
Asia Dixon,
Alton Sterling, Philando Castile,
Tanisha Anderson,
Stephon Clark, Botham Jean,
Tatiana Jefferson,
Yvette Smith, Laquan McDonald,
Elijah McLean,
Andre Hill, Breonna Taylor,
George Floyd,
Dewante Wright, Raukina Jones,
Patrick Laloya,
Dominique Wright, Manuel Ellis,
Ayanna Stanley Jones,
Pamela Turner, Christopher Kelly,
Donnell Rochester,
Ora Rosser, Amir Locke,
Isaiah Tyreek Williams,
Rashard Brooks, and Michael Kasu,
Sean Bell,
Amadou Diallo, Sandra Bland.
and the list goes on.
No justice, no peace.
Please join me in welcoming 1002, talking about environmental racism.
Environmental justice. Environmental justice. Environmental justice. Environmental justice. Environmental justice.
We can't breathe. I can't breathe. Do we understand the meaning behind my words? I'm not just saying it to be an annoyance. I really mean I can't breathe. I'm surprised how we're not dead yet. There's trash everywhere, air polluted, and an unorganized community. If you understand what I'm saying, join us and make your voice loud and proud. Thank you.
Thank you, 1002. Let's give it up for 1003, talking about economic justice and redlining.
Xavier, I'm gonna need you to go to the back. You got ripped jeans on. Is this appropriate?
No, it is not.
Well, redlining is the same, but with houses. Tutorial 1003 is here to speak about the horrors of redlining.
One of the many, many ways of redlining, or should I say methods, discrimination. Discrimination is the act of making distinctions between people based on the groups, classes, or other categories to which they belong or are perceived to belong. People may be discriminated on the basis of race, gender, age, religion, disability, or sexual orientation, as well as other categories. Another one of these areas, red line areas, would have lenders literally draw a red line on a map around the neighborhoods where they would not invest based on demographics alone. Also, redlining can be defined as a discriminatory practice that consists of the systematic denial of services such as mortgages, insurance loans, and other financial services to residents of certain areas based on their race or ethnicity. Crime increases property values, only violent crime lowers neighborhood housing values. A 1% increase in our preferred measure of neighborhood crime. The Fair Housing Act protects people from discrimination when they are renting or buying a home, getting a mortgage, seeking housing assistance, or engaging in other housing-related activities.
My name is Kamel,
I'm James.
and I will be going more into depth about redlining. Redlining is when lenders refuse financial services based on a person's race or ethnicity. It began in 1933 when the Federal House Administration told builders to produce suburbs at a massive scale under the condition that these houses were only for whites, meaning that they could not be sold to African Americans. This forced African Americans into urban housing projects in poor inner city neighborhoods. The FHA then refused to insure mortgages or give loans to near African American neighborhoods or in African American neighborhoods, and they defended themselves by saying if African Americans bought homes in the suburbs, then the property values of those homes would go down. The HOLC, Homeowners Loan Corporation, helps with residential security maps, which are maps that section off areas of the city into categories based on the risk of defaulting for loans. They were sectioned off with 4 colors. Green areas were for the whites. Blue was for the pretty good people. Yellow was for declined areas for the working class. Finally, there were the red areas. The red areas were lenders never touched. They were reserved for individuals detrimental to society, foreign-born and Black people. Just because the Fair Housing Act, which made redlining legal, was passed in 1968 after 30 years of house discrimination, doesn't mean that we still today don't feel the effects. By the time the Fair Housing Act was passed, those same African Americans could no longer afford the house, to live in the house, to the suburbs. Tutorial 1003 thinks that redlining is not fair and that we should be able to live anywhere. Thank you.
Brother, 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 there's far too many of you die. You know you to bring some loving here today. Yeah. Freedom all, freedom here, freedom all, freedom here, freedom all, freedom here, freedom all, freedom here.
All right. It's on. It's on. All right. We are chanting for the innocent people who don't have a voice due to this corrupt system. Let's look at the effects of mass incarceration. Mass incarceration affects millions of Black communities and children. They can't even see their own family members. They're innocent and isolated, sitting in a cell cold at night for a crime they did not commit. So let me ask you all this. If you can give sympathy and lend an ear to the white man, then why can't you do it for people who look like me? Make it make sense. Free my people, freedom now, free the innocent. I don't stand for the white man's justice system. Thank you.
What's up, y'all? All right, I feel like don't falsely incarcerate somebody when you know they didn't do it. Too many people going to jail for something that they didn't do. For example, Black people are 7 times more wrongfully convicted for something that they didn't do than a white person.
We lost a lot of people to false. We lost a lot of people to false incarceration. Friends, family, and loved ones. False incarceration is the #1 leading cause to mass incarceration. There are still people sitting in jail. For example, Lydia Drain Jones was sitting in her home while police raided her home and found a small amount of marijuana. It was not hers, it was her boyfriend's, even though still she had to sit for a drug trafficking charge.
Hey y'all, okay. Wait a second. We all sit here free, no physical restraints on you or me, but what about our Black brothers and sisters locked in the slammer? The ones who were falsely accused and convicted without regards to the laws of incarceration. African Americans make up 13% of the US population. Of those exonerated, 43% are African American, meaning they were sent to prison for something they did not do. Even after exoneration, they never get that time back. No money can ever give them their lives back. That 43% could be your father, your brother, or even your son. So when I say freedom all, freedom now, I'm not saying it for fun. Stop this false incarceration nonsense. Freedom all, freedom now. False incarceration has got to go. Thank you.
Freedom all, freedom. Freedom all, freedom now. Freedom all, freedom now.
Thank you, tutorial 1101. Next up, tutorial 1102, discussing women's rights.
Hello. Our tutorial is 1102, and we are representing women's rights. Women's rights are human rights, and women hold up half of the sky.
Women united are stronger than a country divided. Virtue can only flourish among equals.
My body,
my choice.
My body,
My choice.
My body,
My choice.
Now we got the community starting to come together. Yes, yes, that's what I'm talking about. For those that are new to the school community, all of these choices were selected by tutorials, by the students, and they're riding for issues that they find personally, intellectually, on every level. This is their day, their issues, their choice. We appreciate you. Next up, tutorial 1103. Bring it on, tutorial 1103.
And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. But I'm a sucker looking at you from the face down. I'm making living down. Scheming.
A woman's body is a woman's right. Why do men think they could take away a basic need, forcing them to harbor life that they don't want or that can kill them both? Christian or not, don't force your beliefs on America. Oh, she's too young to get a job? But hell yeah. Have a kid that you'll have to raise until 18 years old. Can't finish school? That's not my problem. You should have thought about that before you laid with him. Oh, you were raped?
You should have dressed differently.
What, do my ankles provoke you?
No, but would the outfit still matter in the workplace where women are paid less for just being a woman, where they are considered less because history says so? Where our community is charged more for wanting to live in a good neighborhood or denied a loan because of our skin color, because of what our ancestors endured? How is that above equal pay when without pay, you wouldn't even be able to get an abortion?
It's 2022.
Principal / AV expert. Thank you. All right. Thank you, 11th grade. Thank you for bringing it. Thank you for bringing the life back to the school. You guys were 9th graders during the virtual year. What an amazing impact you guys have had. You've really set the tone for our schools in so many ways. And now it is my honor to introduce the two 12th grade tutorials or homerooms who were with us before the virtual year, who have brought us back from the virtual year, who have really kept us. You're the foundation of our school. We appreciate you. It's my honor to introduce tutorial 1201. Say
When I say mental, y'all say health. Mental. Mental. When I say mental, y'all say health. Mental. Mental. Everybody, when I say mental, you say health. Mental. Mental. When I say mental, you say health. Mental. Mental. All right. Let's give the class of 2023 a round of applause. Coming up, let's go. All right, so class of 2023, tutorial 1201. Our topic is mental health awareness. So we're going to bring up Destiny Holly. She's going to share something that she wrote in regards to that topic. And then after that, Arlon Hart is going to share a poem. All right. So without further ado, let's give a round of applause for Destiny Holly. Let's go.
For Peace Day 2022, we are bringing awareness to mental health. During the pandemic, many of us have went through so many things that took a toll on our mental health. Many of us had to suffer alone or in silence because we had no one to turn to in our time of need. Many of us had to neglect our mental health and our emotions because there wasn't a safe place to retreat to. Many of us can't name exactly what it is that we're going through, and for that, we can't really know how to be helped. This is why mental health awareness is so important. We have to be able to acknowledge that these are real problems that people face so that it can be addressed properly. Let's stop hiding from these issues and let's start bringing awareness to it.
Good job. Can we give her another round of applause? Let's clap it up for Destiny Holly. Good job, Destiny. All right, so we're going to have Arlon Hart. She's going to say it again. It's okay. They said it's a wrap. All right. So let's give Arlon Hart another round of applause. Let's go.
Resilience by Alex L. Look at you, still standing after being knocked down and thrown out. Look at you, still growing and being picked and plucked and prodded out of your home. Look at you, still dancing and singing after being defeated and dissembled. Look at you, love, still here and hopeful after it all. This poem teaches us that we're more powerful than we know, that resilience is part of being human, and no matter how tough things get, we almost always find the power we need to make a comeback.
All right, DJ, let's get that music, DJ. When I say mental, y'all say health. Mental. Health. Mental. Health. When I say mental, y'all say health. Mental. Mental. When I say mental. Oh, okay, all right. All right, let's give another round of applause. Clap it up. Good job, guys.
Vote Keisha Parks for president!
Yes, 1201, that is how you do it. Kid, love it, call, thank you. Beautiful. And now, we're honored to be joined. Are we ready? By tutorial 1202. Give it up.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Tutorial 1202 has prepared a special presentation for everyone here today on the topic of colorism. Okay, so we have a chant that we hope to lead you guys in. You will hear us say it a couple of times, and then I would like you to join in. We're saying, if you're black, you're all that. If you're brown, we get down. If you're light, it's all right because we're all black, because we're all black. We got it? 1202, help me out. If we're black, if we're brown, if we're light, because, here we go. If we're black, if we're brown, if we're light, because, here we go. If we're black, if we're brown,
Colorism is defined as prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a darker skin tone, typically but not limited to people of the same ethnicity or race. Colorism began during slavery, and despite the effects of colorism that had on slavery, it continues to thrive today. We teach our Black and brown youth that having a lighter complexion is the trend, and having a darker complexion is a sin. Today, we have labeled ourselves to underscore ourselves different hues: brown, tawny, chestnut, and ginger. Then we crossed it out because it doesn't matter.
Hi, I'm Star Ray. I'm a senior at Parkway Northwest, and I'm in the Peace and Social Justice Academy.
Hi, my name is Anaya Thomas. I am also in 12th grade and a part of the Peace and Social Justice Academy. Right down.
I will not budge.
As I listen to the stories my grandmother told,
the tears I cry are heavy to hold.
I wish I could tell my grandmother things has changed,
but unfortunately, a lot of the things are the same.
Only if people didn't judge you by the color of your skin,
then it would be possible for all races to win.
Sometimes it's like the world get worse by the day.
It seems that people are constantly going astray.
The ones who are supposed to protect and serve treat us like prey.
We continue to get gunned down day by day.
Our community continues to split,
with most Blacks ready to call it quits. No justice, no peace. That's what is yelled in the streets.
If only Black, white, all races could unite,
there wouldn't be much to fight.
Am I pretty? Am I smart?
My brown skin should not determine my heart.
It is not fair to be labeled and judged.
On the matter of racism and unequal opportunities, I will not budge.
What's good? How y'all doing today? Y'all good? Yeah! Well, that's the day.
We call ourselves the United States, and yet we still live in division. Doing judging and judging us, and we call it religion. But we're acting like it's because I'm young, like y'all don't gotta live it. And the law of the Bible, this idea comes for the children. You put my people after all the total work for free. And then you're saying that we're lazy, but it's still up to me. And what I'm doing what we did, being kindness, tobacco was dead. I'll make sure that y'all wanna leave. Singing to people and put our people out of their homes. So the too late in country and we got somewhere to go. And this day ain't no one about us here. I let them know when I was forced to be diverted, I need nothing but cold. The cold is cold in our hearts. It's always pain the heat, we cold like the juice, the wind and where our breath wherever we roam. And I'm coming like a cold. You been working as much as me. And that's why I can't stop, can't so. But I get down with it though. Know what the one who's getting whipped in the back though. Know what the one covered in blood, like you was relaxed though. Come back in like you were the one attacked. Cause you weren't the one bringing your buttons off to pick tobacco. No justice, no peace, right?
This is my best friend, Old Bag Joseph, right here. Give it up! Give it up, baby! All right, get off the stage. My turn now. Hold on. Yeah, all my bouncers on the go. Let's get all up in their review. Getting all that hate in the world, that's a clear view. Yeah, I'm trying to stop us, but we doing what they can't do. Yeah, they say that, but we doing what they can't do. Working with me, that's a flag from the back of society. Speaking candidly from my sobriety. Yeah, I got a fear that I'm white, ain't tight. Doing this the same, they different varieties. Knowing it's inferior because of their psychology. What they see to think so when they offer no apology. Yeah, I'm taking shots at them, now I'm fucking AK. War under pressure, so you know that we gon' make change. Parts that I don't like feel, it's an asset. Graphic, at least y'all know we got the passion of summer. Go ain't happy. You gonna leave it like that since way back soon. We gon' shine, shine, shine. It's our time. We gon' shine, shine, shine. Right now. Now we blazing, no we glorious. I'm a high school, got no drama like Victorious. Yeah, people feel large, VIP, we notorious. All the joints to break free, like a Morpheus. Stay in the shadow, while I'm working, I'm like Morpheus. Getting on play this like I'm cheap, keep social. Can't get canceled, and it's PG culture. Can't be scared of speaking again. Gotta come together, and I do that for the family. Chains on my neck, they ain't come from slavery. Gotta cut on stage, spit the facts, that takes bravery. We gon' get a time and you know it's coming hastily. Pipe it up real big and I share.
If I can invite Mr. Wilson to the stage. Yeah. While he's coming, I'm going to share a quick story. Quick story is this. I sat down in a circle in the Fryston Center of Peace, and a student that teachers know real well, who I just heard is on her way to healthcare school. She took a year or two off, and she's on her way, and she's making it happen. Mom works over her aunt works over at Stenton Family Manor, Brooklyn Reese. We were sitting down and I had a conversation, and she said, "Mr. Mack, we need to hear it." I said, "It's been a lot of issues, a lot of beefs. We got to get to the bottom of this. What, Brooklyn? What do you need to hear?" She said, "I need to hear that you love us." I said, "You want what?" And it clicked. Brooklyn Reese taught me more than I may have ever needed to know about this school and this community. There is love. Today is love. Today is about stepping up. When I say Parkway, you say way. Park. Park. When I say park, you say way. That's right. Sorry about that. But my point is, there's a lot of love in this room. And on that, man, I always mess it up. I will be sitting down. Woo! All right. So I invited Mr. Wilson up here because I wanted to introduce our keynote speaker. Speaking about the love and the community, it's about making sure we represent and honor your efforts, your issues, and what peace means to you in our community. It is my honor to officially welcome Dr. Kamika Royal. into our school community. I know my role. As Mr. Wilson has mentioned to me, Jeff, you're an awesome person in our community, but you're still a guest. And so I wanted to briefly say that we are honored to have a Temple doctoral student under Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, who grew up in Southwest Philly, who spent a lot of time up in this area, was raised at Enon Tabernacle, the original, who has done amazing research, connecting both her personal passion with her intellectual area of research and combining them both in a perfectly amazing way for you to see, and is the publisher of Not Pay for Us, Black Educators and School Reform in Philadelphia. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Wilson to give her a moment of love from somebody who knows her on a personal level and is the reason why she is here.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right. Okay, Parkway Northwest. Okay, all right. So I'm going to not be long-winded as our principal, but we're going to get straight to it. Okay, about 20 years ago, 20. Okay, long time ago, long time ago. I was, 40, yeah. I was graduating from Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, the first HBCU, the degree granted HBCU. I was graduating from there, and I met a woman named Janine Royal, who was just starting at Lincoln University in charge of student activities. We became really good friends, like an older sister and mentor. I had an opportunity, she embraced me as her little brother. I met the entire family, mom, dad, grandma, as well as Kamika. So we have a 20-year friendship. I respect this woman. I honor you, thank you for coming. Thank you for every time I call you, you pick up the phone. I appreciate you. And welcome to Parkway, we embrace you. Parkway, let's give it up for Dr. Kamika Royal. Hates me. Okay, all right. That's all right. Okay.
Thank you. I'm gonna set my timer so I make sure I don't go over. I really appreciate you all giving me a reason to come home. I don't know if you all are allowed to have your phones in here or not. Okay. I was invited because I spent 13 years researching a book that came out in May. You can Google it if you'd like. It's called Not Paved for Us, Black Educators in Public School Reform in Philadelphia. An old man going on a lone highway came at the evening cold and gray to a chasm vast and deep and wide, through which was flowing a sullen tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you are wasting your strength with building here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You will never again pass this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build this bridge at evening tide? The builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I have come, he said, there followed after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm that has been naught to me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I am building this bridge for him. Thank you for letting me be here with you today, for giving me a reason to come back home to Philly. As I told your principal earlier, I live in Baltimore now. I'm a professor of education at Loyola University, Maryland. But you put me anywhere in the world and I'm a Philly John. Raised in Southwest Philly and always happy to be home. Not only am I from Philly, but some of you from up this way, my mother went to Leeds and my mother went to Germantown before it was closed. My parents were married at Enon on Culture Street 54 years ago. I graduated from Pepper Middle School out by the airport. I might sing the school song for you when this is over, okay? I got you. And I was fortunate enough to go to Central High School, even though Central has done its best over time to decide who they would let in and who they wouldn't let in, and somehow I was able to eke through. And so ever since I was there, I've tried to make myself a bridge builder. In my role now, I teach about the historical, racial, and socio-political context of urban schooling. So you all were talking a lot today about peace and about justice and racism and environmental racism and women's rights and women's bodies and economic justice. And I'm just so proud. And I was sitting there with tears in my eyes because never, when I was at Central High School, was I able to stand on a stage and talk about these kinds of things. I didn't even know all these things existed when I was your age. And so already you've come so much further than I did and than my classmates did when we were your age. And so I want to give kudos to you for the work you've done, for the energy you're already bringing to our fights. I hope that as you continue on your journey that you see yourself as a bridge builder. I hope you see yourself as a waymaker for those who are coming behind you. I hope you see yourself paving the way forward for those of us who walk a little bit ahead, but we still have some things to learn from you. I hope you keep this same energy. I hope you keep this same joy, this same passion for fighting for what we all need and deserve. What do y'all call them, tutorials? Each tutorial, I was going to say homeroom because I'm old, but each tutorial kind of focused on a different issue. But what I think is really important to remember is that all of these oppressions run together. So where you find racism, you will find rampant patriarchy. You will find rampant classism. You will find people being dispossessed. And so I'm grateful that you already have taken up the mantle to run ahead, to disrupt, to do something different, to insist a better way is not only possible, but will happen. I thank you for that. I want to encourage you with the words of Dr. Barbara Sizemore. She was the first Black woman superintendent of a major school district in the United States in Washington, D.C. in 1974. In her memoir, she wrote, "I must encourage the freedom fighters who follow that any approach which fails to address white supremacy and its counterpart, the imputation of Black inferiority, will force you to walk in circles. Unless you want to wind up where you came in, seek strong confrontation to white supremacy at every opportunity and keep the glare on it." Because disrupting and dismantling white supremacy and other forms of oppression is the aim of my work and thus of my life, I'm not really a rule follower. I'm most comfortable with the rabble-rousers and the rebellious. I believe in asking hard questions and challenging authority. In fact, I argue that it's the responsibility of those who are in positions of privilege to challenge authority and to challenge and question the way policies and things have always been done. If you are not willing to use your position to advocate for people who may never have access to your position, then you are not worthy of your position. And I want you to remember that as you step into your own positions of power, because I have no doubt that's what you all here are doing. If you're going to be anti-racist and anti-oppressive in your work, if you're going to center and prioritize those who have been harmed by oppressive systems, doing what's right may become complicated for you. But because I'm a Black woman from Philly, Generally, I want people to be consistent. My general request is that they keep that same energy. So rules are often selectively applied and enforced, which means I'm usually bucking those rules, and I'm going to encourage you to buck those rules too. When you see that rules are enforced for some and not enforced for others, this is a rule that needs to be bucked. Keep that same energy. If privileges are available to some, they should be available to all, because it's all of us or none of us. Regardless of the position you occupy, whether you're a student, a teacher, an administrator, or somewhere in between, I hope that you never stop asking the hard questions incessantly without ceasing. If we're going to be anti-racist and anti-oppressive for peace and social justice, we have to question those rules and those policies, whether or not they apply to us. We have to constantly ask ourselves who's being censored and who's being harmed. Thirty-something years ago, I got into Central High School. Central High School started in 1836, and it wasn't until 1984 that they actually let girls into the school. So in 1994, when I was a junior, they did a little celebration patting themselves on the back for finally allowing girls into the school. But the question I had is, how come we were seeing so many Black and brown students start Central High School, but something like half of those Black and brown students finish Central High School? My actual friends who got into the school because they were excellent at academics, but they didn't always assimilate to what could have been seen as an overbearing environment. And I'm not saying this as somebody who was put out. I graduated from Central, but it didn't stop me from asking questions about those who started with me who should have been finishing with me. But somebody decided they had the right to exclude them, that they didn't belong. Also at Central High School, when I was getting ready to graduate, I hope some of you, especially the seniors, as you're looking at colleges, I hope you're looking at North Carolina Central University, home of the mighty Eagles in Durham, North Carolina. Very proud HBCU graduate here. But when I started to tell people, oh yeah, I'm going to North Carolina Central, and they would say, well, where's that? I've never heard of that. Where's that? Say it's a small Black HBCU in North Carolina. They go, well, where is it? I say, it's in Durham. They go, well, Duke's in Durham. You're smart, Royal. Why aren't you going to Duke? Well, why can't I be smart going to North Carolina Central University, home of the mighty Eagles in Durham, North Carolina? Those are some of the questions I was asking then. I got 2 more minutes, that's my warning. And you all have far exceeded that already. I'm grateful for the time I was at Central so that I learned how to start being, pushing against those rules and those policies and those people who were trying to be gatekeepers. I'm glad that I started asking questions so that we could figure out how to begin breaching the gates. I hope that you are learning how to breach, how to disrupt. Please don't stop asking those questions. I hope you know that where you sit, while it may not always feel like an honorable position, it is. Philadelphia has one of the oldest school systems in the country. Second oldest in the country. Boston is the oldest, Philadelphia is second. When I was writing this book, I sent it out to a lot of different people, and they, some of them were like, I don't know if Philly is really, I don't know if people really want to read about Philly like that. So I was like, all right, cool, just watch. So I'm just gonna keep writing. The book was being rejected by publishers, and then Harvard circles back to me, and they were like, you know what, Dr. Royal, this might be a little interesting. I'm like, I told y'all Philly was that joint. Like, y'all need to stop tripping. Like, y'all not trying to see what we're doing over here. I'm just saying. Not only is Philadelphia one of the oldest systems, but because we are a system that is set in a society that is racist, Philadelphia also has a very distinct history with its schools of sort of holding up racist policies, processes, and procedures. So for 85 years, Black educators in Philadelphia have been weary with this school district because the district has consistently overpromised and underdelivered. I am so grateful for you all to have the opportunity to attend this very small school where you are learning so much about what's happening in the rest of the world. My hope is that you would take what you're learning here in this very small environment and go turn it out for somebody else who's in a different type of school, where they're being warehoused and not given an opportunity to access the type of knowledge and information and activism that you are already working on. In 1967, 3,500 students from the School District of Philadelphia, already fed up with what wasn't happening for them, on November 16, 1967, they converged on the school district building to protest and to make demands of this school district. They demanded more Black educators, more Black teachers, more Black administrators. They wanted Black history courses, some of which you all have now, with African American history being a graduation requirement. That became a requirement in part because of what those students started 55 years ago. So you are walking in a legacy that was established for you a very long time ago. My hope is that you always continue to carry this mantle forth, that you're concerned not just with what suits you, but also for your fellow cohorts in other places around this city. As I go, I want to thank you for letting me be here at your Peace Day. I hope you always choose to be a bridge builder. I hope you remind everybody that you are for peace, but justice is a precursor. There will never be any peace until we can ensure justice. And I hope you remind them of that always. Tell them you're for peace, but you need justice first. And I want to leave you with the words of James Baldwin to Angela Davis. If we know and do nothing, we are worse than the murderers hired in our name. If we know, then we must fight for your life as though it were our own, which it is, and render impassable with our bodies the corridor to the gas chamber. For if they take you in the morning, they will be coming for us that night. Thank you.
All right, everybody. I just want to say a quick little joke. Y'all got bucking system here, though. We not bucking little system here at Parkway. Suspensions are real. Okay. Have a good day.
And on that note, thank you, Mr. Wilson. Dr. Royal, we thank you on behalf of the whole school community for your time, your effort, your intentionality, your focus on the intersection of all justice and racism. And thank you for bringing everything you have to our school community. We appreciate you. I also learned one thing from Dr. Royal about Anglo-normativity. Anybody know what that is? It's something I brought into this school way too much, and I still may do so sometimes as we speak. You have so much impact from me, from our faculty and staff who love you, from all the collected group of amazing leaders in front of us. Let's give it up for them. Thank you for joining us, for giving the students the platform for true leadership, for understanding their voice matters, for seeing through everything that we do. Your efforts are amazing. So it is now time to do what we need to do at this point in time, to ask our good friend, Dr. King Leo, to head out back, to get some food ready, to get some celebration ready, to get after it, because it's been a long day, a great peace day. All right, ninth graders, head out back, let's go.
All I do is win, no matter what. I know everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. All I do is win,
So I see this and I won't stop now. My hands were in the sky, but I'm freezing and kicking off both right down. I never win nowhere, but they say it long as black. Blame it on the contour, the hood call it love. Yeah, I'm always cool as black.